This is Tracer, and Tracer is a 10-week-old cattle dog, and Tracer's doing a board and train. Now, sometimes you have to pick the puppy up. It's a fact, but for the most part, you want the puppy on the ground. So we're going to put Tracer down on the ground. It's all four on the floor. If you're picking the puppy up all the time and holding the puppy, you're making a huge mistake. Dogs function on the ground. If you're picking them up like that, you're training the dog to jump on people, jump on you. You don't do that. Now, another thing that Tracer's doing, Tracer's putting stuff in her mouth. So puppies are very mouthy, and Tracer is very typical of just about every puppy that I've ever known. So see what she's doing here? You have to constantly be taking stuff out of their mouth, or else what you end up with is dog with stomach issues. So it's a constant battle. Tonka, he was totally like that. Like, I had him outside, and for 6 months it was like every few seconds I was taking something out of his mouth. Now, Tracer, one of the most important things to do with your puppy is get them used to the leash. And what they'll do is they won't walk. They'll spread out their legs, and they don't want to walk. Another thing that they do is they're real mouthy. So I'm going to stand up. So make it not as easy for Tracer to be grabbing at me. And I notice that I have Tracer on a leash. Let me move the camera back a little bit. Well, actually, Tracer here. Up. There you go. Here. Here. Now, to get the dog walking you at times here, you might have to drag the dog a little bit. And I know people are going, no, don't drag the puppy. Listen, it's a dog, okay? I'm not telling you to hurt its feet. I'm telling you to bring the dog along. If the puppy's sprawled out like that, and you have the leash on the dog, and you're turned around looking at it, no good, no good. You're sort of encouraging that behavior. So what you need to do is just sort of bring the dog this way and go here, up. Now, as you see, Tracer's 10 weeks old. Tracer is going up and down the steps already. And as of this morning, Tracer's not sprawled out, and Tracer is functioning on the leash. And I didn't do that by coddling the dog. Now, I've had dogs come to me that are 6 months old that can't go up and down the steps. Tracer didn't want to go down the steps at first. What did I do? I encouraged the dog to come down the steps and brought it on with the leash. It's a dog. It's not a morphed little human being. If you treat the dog like a morphed little human being, you're going to have a lot of issues. You're going to have a really screwed up dog. So now Tracer's functioning, going up and down the steps. Here. Good girl. Tracer, come here. Here. And you also notice something else. Tracer's on my left-hand side because that's the side that she's going to learn heel on. So from this point on, Tracer's always going to be on my left-hand side. I'm not going to pick her up much unless I have to. And at times, I'm housebreaking her. So I'm, like last night, I was up so many times because I'm trying to get in that psychic mode with the dog. I'll pick Tracer up so that she doesn't have an accident and run her outside. But don't carry the dog. Don't put the dog in your lap. It's 10 weeks old. The first thing that you want to do is get the dog used to the leash and get it to follow you. You might have to put the leash on the dog and let the dog drag it around the house. That's very helpful. It is. It's very, very helpful. I'm telling you, the difference in 12 hours with this dog, it's drastic. Like, the dog didn't want to function on a leash, and now it'll follow me. That's what you need to do. You need to get the dog to follow you. Tracer, here. Come on, here. Good girl. Good girl. Come on. Tracer, here. Here. Come on, baby. Here. There you go. Good girl. Now, I'll show you something else that's real important. Here. More proof that Tracer's parents are intelligent and good dog owners. Notice the collar that Tracer has on. See? This is a big, fat, thick leather collar. This would be a collar for an adult dog. What is the significance of that? Let me put the puppy down and I'll tell you. That most people, when they get a puppy, what they want to do is get the cheapest collar possible, and they get one of those really thin cat collars, a little nylon cat collar type thing. And what happens is that when you put the leash on the dog, that puts stress on the trachea, and then the dog starts like that, making that sound. It injures the dog. No, not his parents. His parents went and got a leather collar that's thick and wide so that it doesn't put pressure in just a really small area on the trachea. It spreads it out over a big area, and cut it down and put a hole in it so it works for the puppy. They go the extra mile. Most people don't do this. With most people, it's just like, what can I do that's the cheapest? What can I do that's the easiest? It's nonsense. It's nonsense. If you get a puppy, use the proper equipment. You might need, before the dog is a year old, you might have to use 3 different size crates. Use one for when they're real small, one when they're, a little bit bigger, and then they have one for when they're an adult. That's how it is. You get a dog, they aren't convenient, they aren't, and you buy the proper material. The training material. You don't just buy whatever's cheapest. You get the tools that are proper. You don't skimp on it. And if you had to alter something like this, like an adult collar, taking a nail, making an extra hole, do it. And by the way, the collar fits the dog properly. Let me show you this too. If you see, I can fit 2 fingers in here. It's not so loose, it can slip off the dog's head. I had a dog come here just recently in the last 6 months that the collar wasn't even on. It was, you could slip it on and off. A leather collar like this, you could slip it on and off over the dog's head. It's nonsense. That's how you create behavior problems. That's how you lose dogs. That's how dogs get hurt. See? 2 fingers. You can just slip 2 in there. That's it. That's all the dog needs. You don't have it so you can slip it on and off. You're not helping the dog, okay? You're causing problems. Everybody should do like Tracer's parents, but they don't. They look for the cheapest, quickest available thing that they can do to make themselves feel better. Like, let's take the dog to training at PetSmart or Petco, and they actually think that they're doing something. They're not. You're screwing up the dog doing that. You're going to have the dog for its life. It's an investment. Something else is very important with your puppy when you get it is have plenty of paper towels and white vinegar. You could use white vinegar diluted. The point is that, like, if Tracer had an accident in the crate, you would want to clean it up. If you're trying to crate train the dog, you don't want it to smell like pee or poop. You need to make sure that it's totally cleaned up, because if the dog starts going in the crate, it could keep going in the crate. So you don't want that. You want the dogs to think of this as their spot, their den, their safe spot. You want to make sure that it's clean. So have plenty of paper towels and don't let the dog stay in there. And the big thing is really get the dog outside. I lost sleep last night. I was getting up and down out of bed, just like she's like, it was making me tired just watching you get out of bed. But I want to get on that rhythm to make it easier for myself. That's what I'm doing right now, is I'm making it easier to train the dog. The dog needs to follow me around. It needs to not dig its heels in. It needs to walk on a leash. Now the other thing is the crate. I want Tracer to come out of the crate, and many times, and this is what Tracer was doing last night, is sprawl out, like right when I'm putting the leash on the dog. So I need Tracer to be able to come in and out of the crate, right, and get used to that. And the only way to do that is have the leash on the dog and encourage Tracer to come out, which she's doing now. And then I'll take the puppy and I'll put and when I'm putting the puppy back in, I'm saying the word kennel. Tracer, kennel. I slam the door on Tracer's face like that. And we'll repeat this over and over again. So I'm doing a few things here. One, I'm getting the dog used to coming in and out of the crate. And remember, the crate, this door to the crate is a point of positive reinforcement. So if Tracer's running out, which it's fine right now, we're sort of conditioning the dog to, you know, run out of the crate. That's true, but we need her to come out of the crate, and we'll tighten it up as we go. So later, we're really going to control it, and we're starting to do that right now by just like teaching her that I can close the crate door on her, and I control the crate door. So this isn't going to be a problem. We just need Tracer to start coming out of the crate, and that's exactly what she's doing. So we'll repeat this several times. Tracer here. Good girl, good girl. Then we take Tracer, put Tracer back in the crate, like this, right? Like that. Now, puppies, you can also create very bad behavioral problems with puppies, like submissive peeing. So you want to make sure that the dog's bladder is as empty as possible, and you don't want to talk baby talk and excited talk to the puppy, especially when in the crate. So you want to get the dog out of the crate, right? You also have the option, if it looks like it's a dog that's submissive peeing or something, you have a crate like this, you can open the top up, right? So that she can't go in that submissive position. Like I'll open it up and encourage her, and then I'll grab her, right? And then we'll go outside. So let me put it back in. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's the point, submissive peers, people train them to do this. And they start getting the dog in the submissive spot where the dog's like either sprawled out, and it's just like, you know, the young puppy doesn't really have any bladder control. Their muscles, you know, that's just how it is. And it doesn't matter if it's male or female. Females are more subject to this. Do not excite the dog, because once again, this is a point of positive reinforcement. So if you're letting the dog out right here, and that you're causing excitement, you could create a submissive peer, and unless you're going to send the dog to me, and that's not an easy thing to get rid of. It isn't. I've had dogs come to me that I've adopted. Billy the Hedgehog, he was a submissive peer, and it's all due to people that don't know what they're doing around puppies. They can't, you know, so watch out. Don't let this start. Don't let it start. If you see the dog in that position, like it's getting down and sort of squirrely, right when you're putting the collar, when you put the collar on, that causes excitement when you hook onto the collar with the leash. So you could do a couple things. You can just let the dog out of the crate, grab the dog, pick the dog up, then put the collar on. It's an older dog that does it. You can already have the leash on them if they don't chew on the leash, and that way you can gain control. But you have to make sure that does not start, or else you're just going to have a mess on your hands. An absolute mess. Do not encourage the submissive peer. Don't make a lot of eye contact with the puppy. There's no need to be doing that. There's no need to be making eye contact with your puppy and talking baby talk. You'll create a submissive peer. Don't do that. And like I said outside, pick the dog up. It's a puppy. Everybody knows it as a small dog. I have a 22-year-old Mango right here, right? 22-year-old Chihuahua, long-haired Chihuahua. He's blind now, but I mean, there were times that, you know, him being young, you know, just being a small dog, you have to pick the small dog up. The puppy's the same way, but puppies and small dogs, it seems like people, it's adorable, it's cute. They carry it around and just screw the dog up. Do you do that with a German Shepherd or a Labrador? No. The dog, when you're doing that, it's essentially sitting in your lap. You're going to create a mess. And also, if the dog gets excited and you're holding it and sees another dog, or it's excited or aggressive towards a human being and starts barking at another human being, you're creating a time bomb with that dog. put the damn dog on the floor. It's a puppy, or it's it doesn't matter if it's a puppy or a small dog. Put the small dog on the floor. You're going to create a mess. 46% of all puppies are given up the first year. 46%. That's all of them. You get a puppy, there's almost a 50% chance that you're not going to be able to handle it. These owners are smart. They're smart. They're getting training done with the dog. They're getting the dog in a position where they can work with the dog. And they're going to avoid a lot of these puppy problems, mistakes that people make, creating the submissive peer, creating aggression. You know, they're making it so that this puppy, the chance of this puppy ending up in a shelter are like none, slim to none. They're smart. They're smart. You don't have to use a trainer if you don't want, but if you get a puppy, you better train it. If you don't know what you're doing, you better get some help, because I'll tell you something about dog training. Nobody's born with the ability to train a dog, okay? It's all learned. It's all learned. You can't learn it from TV. I learned it from my father, but you need to learn it from someone. You can watch my videos and pick up some stuff, but good luck with that. We got 46% of all puppies not staying in the same home the first year. And we have 4 million dogs dying every year just because of nonsense. All this stuff, to me, is just like, yeah, okay, it's a puppy. Kati asked me, like, how nervous are you about the puppy coming and getting it all trained? I'm like on a level of from 1 to 10, I said 0. Why? Because it's a puppy. I have so much experience with, it doesn't matter what breed it is. I've done them all. I've trained every puppy there is. It's no big deal. Would this be considered a hard breed to train? They're all hard to train. It's just I've been doing it for so long. It's oh, big deal. A cattle dog. Bring it on. So we're going to do this a couple more times. Tracer here. Good girl. And then she goes back in. We say kennel. Good girl. Close the door. Now watch what I do here. I'm going to teach her that I control the door. See how I close the door on her? If you did that to a human, it'd be rude. That's not a human. That's a dog, man. That's a subspecies of a wolf. It doesn't care if I close the door on it. It isn't. I'm not being rude to the dog. I'm teaching the dog to respect. And remember, this dog cannot love. It's a dog. It can respect, but it cannot love. Love is a complex human emotion. Love, is about pondering thought, and you can say whatever. You can do scan the brain of the dog, whatever. You're talking about like an adult German Shepherd. You're talking about a dog that has a lemon-sized brain. There isn't enough gray matter for emotional shit. Dogs don't cry. That's a fact. They don't cry. They don't commit suicide. You want to think that there's sadness in dogs? There isn't. There's sadness in human beings, and human beings project. I've never met a sad dog. Ever. That's bullshit, and that's people that just have issues or have a dog with behavioral issues, and they're trying to make excuses for the dog with behavioral issues. Oh, my dog has separation anxiety. Well, you gave it to the dog. Don't ever say hello or goodbye to the dog. Ignore him. It's a dog. Let's do this a couple more times. Tracer here. Good girl. Kennel. See, there's a young puppy. She's already picking it up. Are you getting the point? Close the door on the damn puppy. Teach him to come in and out of the crate. Start using the words that you're going to use with the dog when they're older. Here, kennel. Have the dog on the left-hand side. It's a puppy. It's a lot of muscle memory, and you have to be consistent. Tracer, here. Good girl. Good girl. Kennel? Tracer, here. Good girl. Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, Tracer, get in there. Little baby sis, look at her. Little Tracer. No. Tracer, here. Good girl. We'll take the collar off of her. She's mouthy. Watch the mouth of the puppy. They're like little sharks. But if they start chewing on you, this is a big problem. People think that they're supposed to play with the puppy like this. You dummy. Don't do that. You're training the dog. You're hand wrestling with the dog. That's not, if the dog is biting at you, get up off the damn ground. Put a leash on the dog. Get some control on the dog. 4 million dogs are dying because people are stupid. And I'm sorry, but it pisses me off. It pisses me off that so many dogs are dying, and they don't have to be. People need to wake up. Do not hand wrestle with a puppy. You're not playing, you're play fighting with a dog. Okay? Idiot. Do you understand what you're doing? You're training the dog that it's cool to treat a human being like another dog. And then the dog that keeps doing that ends up seeing the hand as something to bite. Stop doing that and get up off the damn ground. I'm on the ground right now, but I'm a pro. I've been doing this for years. And if there's any problems with the dog, I monitor the dog the whole time that it's out, and I have a leash on the dog. And I'm not going to encourage hand wrestling. I'm not going to play with the dog, okay? I play with the dog, but I play with the dog on my terms. That's what you should be doing. You should be teaching the dog to play because it lives in a human society. If you don't understand what I'm saying, don't get a dog. If you want to get a dog, then pay somebody like me to get the dog in the correct position so that it understands, yeah, we get to play Frisbee. That's awesome. That doesn't involve hand wrestling, and it involves the dog being compliant, okay? Tracer's not a morphed little human being. She's a dog. She's a gorgeous little dog. And I'm saying this to Katya, every puppy is gorgeous. Doesn't matter what breed it is, they're all adorable. It pisses me off so much people cannot get this through their head that Tracer at 8 months, at 6 months, could jump over a picnic bench and kill and eat a rat. Do you understand? It's a subspecies of the wolf. It isn't a morphed little human being. If you love the dog, treat it like it's a dog. If you can't do that, don't get a dog. Maybe you'd be better off with a cat or maybe even a cactus or a goldfish. Cats need training too. So, you got a warm-blooded animal, count on training. And something else while I'm on the subject. You idiots that get these dogs and go to the pet stores and pick up wee-wee pads and then you put the wee-wee pads in the crate. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind even buying those things? They're scented with a pheromone that smells like shit and piss to the dog. So you're putting those in a crate. It says it right on there, pheromones. You're putting it in a crate and telling the dog to take a pee in the crate and shit in the crate. Every time somebody contacts me with one of these dogs, I swear to God, it's like, oh, you realize what you did? Oh, now I do, now that you tell me. And you want me to fix your problem. From now on, this is the truth. Somebody calls me with one of these, like, dogs that they did this to, I'm charging it $3,000 extra. It's deserved. It's deserved because it's going to be a big pain in my ass, and there should be some kind of penalty for being so stupid as to getting a dog without doing research. How? You know that this owner contacted me, did a Skype with me before he picked up the dog. He's smart. He's smart. How many people get a freaking dog, and then they contact me? Or they have a problem with the dog, and then they contact the trainer. The dog bites, then they contact the trainer. Human beings are so arrogant, so arrogant. It's the truth. And people with high IQs, just as bad as the stupid person. It's honest to God truth. They're just as ridiculous with dogs. It's disgusting. 4 million are dying every year. Why do you think that you're going to be different? I hear it all the time. Oh, I'd never do that. That's the person that would be like, oh, I'd never put my dog in a crate. That's like jail. You're an idiot. You're an idiot, and you're the problem. It's people like this. And you know what? There are no PSAs. There aren't. There are no public service announcements. Nobody does anything. And Cesar Millan, the fucking idiot, I'm sorry, but he's an idiot. He is not a dog trainer. He's not. He's a dog whisperer. That's totally different. That is his bullshit, by the way. Does he use commands? My point is he has this huge platform and he can't fucking say the right shit. He can't say the right shit. Nobody wants to hear facts. What they want to hear is what they want to hear. They don't want to hear the truth. The worst for this would be somebody like Victoria Stilwell. All the positive reinforcement trainers, they want you to hear what you want to hear. Oh, the dog has been with us for thousands. I don't want to fucking hear it, okay? It's a subspecies of the wolf. It should be eating raw diet. It shouldn't be eating cooked food. It shouldn't be eating kibble. You want to get the dog housebroken quick, get it on raw diet. And don't put wee-wee pads in the crate. And don't bring wee-wee pads in your house. Get your lazy ass up and take the dog outside. I don't want to hear about your dog. You live on on an 8th floor. You got to get to the elevator. You put your shoes on. You pick the dog up and take the dog out. Hey, knucklehead, knock it up. Stop making excuses. You live in an apartment building that's 20 stories up. You pick the dog up. You go to the elevator. You take the dog out. You put the dog out on the ground. If your dog doesn't have its shots, right, you don't move it around. You just put it one place and one place only. And keep it away from other dogs. That's a fact. If you live in a house like this, go take the dog to your backyard. It's not going to get, the chances of it getting some... Did a dog with parvo jump into your yard? Did it come right outside your door? No, probably not. You're making excuses. People make excuses. Get all the shots in your dog. There's no excuse. By the way, while we're on this, that's because of puppies. Hang on. Hey, knock it off! The puppies got the dogs real excited. That's a fact. We brought the puppy in last night and they've been bouncing off the walls ever since. They hear me working with the dog. They've seen her. They're very excited. So is Bucket. Bucket the cat is right here. That's Bucket the cat. But Bucket loves puppies. I'm sorry. I know that a lot of people think that I seem like I'm angry. I am. I'm angry. I'm angry at other humans for disrespecting dogs. It sucks. Hey, sweetie, knock it off. I got to work with the other dogs, and I got to deal with her. Shh. No, good girl.